It's here, the Columbia Classics Collection Volume 4, released by Sony. It can be found at your various online retailers. Now, the 6 movies that are included in this collection are His Girl Friday, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Kramer vs. Kramer, Starman, Sleepless in Seattle, and Punch Drunk Love. Of course, the box set itself matches aesthetically the previous 3 editions, so it'll go nicely on your shelf next to one another. And I like the green, though it can appear to be a little bit dark. All right, I will be reviewing all 6 of these films individually, and I will leave chapter times in the comments section below. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into His Girl Friday. In the past year or so, I've been revisiting many of Cary Grant's filmography, and when I heard this was coming to 4K as part of the collection, I was thrilled. This is a fascinating look at the news organizations of the 1940s, and it's surprising at its core just how relevant it is even today. Grant and Rosalind Russell are perfect in their roles, and it's a film I highly suggest you see. His Girl Friday on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 1:37:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and supports both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. And the audio option is an English DTS 2.0 as well as multiple international 2.0 tracks. Sony's transfer of His Girl Friday is a testament to how much care and respect the studio had for their films. This 1940 classic is absolutely immaculate visually with a beautiful, well-preserved grain structure. Source imperfections are startlingly minimal, leaving a clean image from start to finish. The film's grayscale is nicely preserved with strong stability in whites and deep black levels. The enhancement to textures is boosted by the 4K's image clarity. There were no instances of banding or other imperfections witnessed. As for the mono track, the audio is certainly a product of its time, but it's no less presented well. If you can keep up with the rapid-fire talking back and forth, it's clean with its delivery. Source-related audio anomalies are nearly non-existent, leaving a perfectly vintage experience for the listener. All of the film's supplemental material is located on the accompanying Blu-ray, and it's a fair share to dive into. Breaking the Speed Barrier is my favorite of the bunch, focusing on the rapid-style dialogue the film is famous for. An audio commentary by film critic Todd McCarthy is a fascinating insight into discussing the behind-the-scenes aspects of the film. For the picture quality, I'm going to give His Girl Friday on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A. The transfer has no right to look this good, and it once again is an example of classic cinema faring the best in a proper 4K upgrade. The black and white palette is nicely refined with Dolby Vision, giving the viewer the best possible version to see in their homes. For the audio mix, I scored this one a B+. The DTS mono is nicely preserved and will no doubt be enjoyed by purists and new fans alike. And for the extras, I scored it an A-. His Girl Friday has an appreciable array of extras and supplements that will satisfy film enthusiasts well. Disc 2 in the set is 1967's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. This is such a beautifully made film and truly bringing together legends of the cinema. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn reunite for one final time, and sharing the screen with Sidney Poitier is an incredible experience. The film feels very much like a play, and it's executed masterfully. The script is smartly written, insightful, and ultimately ends in a cautious but hopeful nature. The 4K edition of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner has a 1:85:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution, and HDR10 and Dolby Vision are supported. As for the audio options available, a new Dolby Atmos audio mix is here, as well as a DTS 5.1 and a DTS 2.0 mono. The Sony 4K transfer of this late 60s drama is arguably a significant upgrade over the previous Blu-ray disc. Grain structure is resolved well, giving the viewer a strong cinematic look. I struggle to find any source-related blemishes, it's that good-looking visually. Dolby Vision offers a solid refinement to the 60s aesthetic, allowing those various shades of yellows, greens, and other primaries to push to their limit. Even Katharine Hepburn's red scarf from the first half of the film is visually punchy. Skin tones are naturally pleasing, and whites never look blown out. Black levels are well rendered from start to finish with a strong showing. Image clarity amplifies details very well, giving skin textures and clothing much better depth. A surprising audio upgrade in the form of Dolby Atmos gives the soundstage a bit more breathing room, but I wouldn't say it's a game changer. Audio cues find their way around the room in an often more subtle variety, but make no mistake, this dialogue-heavy film is mostly front-focused. The audio source is clean with no issues present. I briefly gave the original mono track a run, and it too is presented in a clean manner. An audio commentary is included on the 4K disc itself, though the bulk of the extras are on the accompanying Blu. A Love Story for Today is a previously available featurette that is worth investing your time in, as well as A Special Kind of Love featuring Katharine Hepburn. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Guess Who's Coming to Dinner on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A+. Classic cinema once again wins the day with an outstanding 4K transfer. The vintage era aesthetic is beautifully realized with Dolby Vision, and the image clarity is firmly on point. For the audio mix, I'll score this one an A-. The addition of Dolby Atmos gives the listener a stronger overall presence audibly without reinventing the wheel. It's not a demo track by any means, but for those that appreciate a finer presentation, you'll certainly get it here. For the extras, I'll score this a B-. Some old favorites make a return, and it's a bit unfortunate there wasn't more offered. Fans of the film may have seen these supplements before, which may leave them wanting more. The third film in this collection, Kramer vs. Kramer, admittedly doesn't get a whole lot of replayability in my own personal life, but that doesn't speak to its quality. A marriage is ending, and with a child involved, it shows the inevitable fallout. Both Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep bring their A-game. This is a film about deeply flawed people and how they navigate life post-marriage. This is a film that deserves to be seen at least once. Kramer vs. Kramer on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 1.85:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and supports both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. As for the audio options, it also supports a Dolby Atmos mix newly created for this release, a DTS 5.1, a DTS 2.0 mono. The 4K transfer will certainly impress those who have been looking for a reason to trade in their old Blu-ray. Film grain is preserved well with thankfully no attempts at management. Source blemishes are non-existent, giving the viewer a clean picture. The bump to 4K gives new life to textures across the board. Facial features reveal a good bit of detail. Tears and sweat on Ted and his son's face in certain scenes are clearly more visible. Dolby Vision seems to be a bit more subtle here, and that's perfectly fine. Skin tones look good, leaning slightly on the warmer side. Colors show good stability throughout, and black levels are equally strong. Overall, the palette has a nice refined appearance. A new Dolby Atmos track also comes on this 4K, and it's probably just as subtle to the audio as Dolby Vision is to the color palette. The extra speaker real estate is used to punctuate certain in-film moments, such as when certain characters get frustrated, and general light ambience throughout the film. Dialogue is clean and easy to hear, aside from one or two source-related limitations. A brief test of the 2.0 mono proved all was well for those that preferred a more purist theater experience. As we are making our way through the set, it feels as if the supplements become a little bit less. In addition to the audio commentary, the making of Kramer vs. Kramer makes a return appearance, as do deleted scenes and some archival featurettes. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Kramer vs. Kramer on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A. Visually, the movie has never looked better now that it's on 4K. The palette is nicely enhanced with Dolby Vision, grain structure is pleasing, and the overall look of the film is done well. For the audio mix, I scored this one a B+. The film relies a lot on more of an ambient immersion as far as the surround environment goes, but everything up front is delivered well and precise. And for the extras, a C-. Aside from the fact that the extras are split between the 4K and the Blu-ray, there is not too much else aside from the making of featurette to really enjoy for extras enthusiasts. Of all of John Carpenter's films, the fourth disc in the collection, Starman, for me has the most heart. Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen are fantastic as Bridges' alien visitor navigates his way back to meet his kind, all the while learning what it is to be human. The score is also one of my personal favorites, and it further enhances the story being told. Starman is an excellent 80s sci-fi drama, and it deserves its place in this collection. Starman on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 2:39:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and supports both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. For the audio options, a new Dolby Atmos track was created, a DTS 5.1 as well as a DTS 2.0 mix. Of all the films in this collection, Starman has some of the most picturesque settings and comes alive in this 4K transfer. I've always felt the Blu-ray was a little bit too much on the bright side. Here, the picture is more filmic, which could make cinephiles very pleased. The 4K resolution bump offers stronger textures across the board. Image clarity showcases details well. Even Starman's formation into human has more depth. I will say, though, some of the dated special effects do tend to stand out a little bit more, for better or for worse. The source is clean with a nicely resolved grain structure. Dolby Vision gives the palette a shot to the arm in terms of boldness and vibrancy. Everything from Starman's red flannel shirt, blue skies, the colorful lights of Vegas all give a nice visual flourish. Skin tones skew a little bit on the warm side throughout. Day scenes are quite striking, so when those aforementioned picturesque locations come on screen, they'll certainly leave an impression. Black levels show deep nighttime scenes and appropriately dark interiors. One more element that Starman has more than most of the other films in this collection is a more robust Dolby Atmos mix. Right from the get-go, the film's audio track makes great use of additional speaker real estate. Starman's initial approach to Earth uses a wide variety of audio cues that continuously populate the mid-levels and rears. Height activity is understandably limited to what was available from the source, but still pulls its weight with overhead effects. Near the film's end, the military's helicopter fleet and attack offer a strong immersive experience. Add in the film's very memorable score, it's a nicely realized use of the surround space. The LFE punches through on a regular basis with authority, and dialogue is clear from start to finish. One of the more interesting offerings in this set is the inclusion of the complete 22 episodes of the Starman spin-off series. The show is in HD and split on two 4K discs. I checked out 2 random episodes on each disc, and the overall quality is serviceable, not as pristine as the film is, of course, but it should leave most fans satisfied. The rest of the supplements can be found on the Blu-ray disc, which include a previous audio commentary, deleted scenes, a 23-minute retrospective featuring John Carpenter and Jeff Bridges. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Starman on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A+. This 4K transfer is one of the best in the collection and well worth the upgrade. Color shows strong vibrancy throughout with a strong boost to image clarity. For the audio mix, I'll score this one an A. The Dolby Atmos has a wonderfully engaging presence and is a clear winner from the previous Blu-ray's audio. For those that are interested, the DTS 2.0 also makes an appearance and sounds great. For the extras, I score them a B+. The inclusion of the Starman series is one of the few exclusive supplements in the whole set, with a solid amount of returning extras included on the Blue. The 5th film in this collection, Sleepless in Seattle, I've probably seen more than any others in this set. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, though sharing very little screen time together, are very good in whatever scenes they do share, and it's a moving story about loss and finding love again. Dialogue like this just isn't written anymore, as are the themes and chemistry of the 2 leads. The supporting cast is also top tier and adds so much to the flow of the film. This is a high recommend. Sleepless in Seattle on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 1:8:5:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and supports both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. The audio options presented are Dolby Atmos, a DTS 5.1, as well as a DTS 2.0 mix. The 5th film in the box set admittedly doesn't have the same wow factor as the first 4, at least as far as transfers go, but it's still an overall impressive 4K picture. The at-home release of the film has never been really known for its bright, flashy kind of picture, and that continues here. Film grain can be a bit more pronounced in darker scenes, but never feels obtrusive. Blemishes or other imperfections didn't seem to be an issue. If there is one aspect of this transfer that shows up the old Blu-ray is the gains in look and overall detail. It doesn't quite become a newfound visual revelation, but textures do show an appreciable uptick. The film's palette also is a bit of a darker one in regards to colors, and that continues. Occasional pops of color do push through, Christmas decor for instance, but generally Dolby Vision uses a more natural push in regards to the overall palette. Skin tones can occasionally lean a little bit too much on the warm side. It's not something overly persistent, but you may actually notice the same. Occasionally, shadow detail can tiptoe the line of crush, but I don't feel it really steps over it. I didn't notice any signs of unwanted artifacts or macro blocking. The Dolby Atmos delivers a very subdued, front-heavy kind of experience. While in theory the soundstage should be a bit more open, ambient audio cues are sparse and few and far between. There isn't any meaningful height output to speak of, so those looking for something to really embrace audio-wise, you're better served looking elsewhere on the set. The film's dialogue is prioritized clean in the center, and the LFE is more or less taking the day off. This is a rom-com after all. Of the supplements, only the A Conversation on Sleepless in Seattle is new, and as far as the extras are offered, it's back to the old ones found on the Blu-ray. Deleted scenes, a look back, a pair of audio commentaries, and a few other pieces of content round things out as far as extras go. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Sleepless in Seattle on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray a B. Sleepless is probably the most subtle upgrade visually in the whole collection. It doesn't necessarily reinvent the wheel picture-wise, so it's best to keep expectations in check. For the audio mix, I scored this one a C. An Atmos upgrade is always welcome, but due to the sound design, it may be a case of overkill. Nothing inherently noteworthy happens as far as the audio goes. And for the extras, I scored this one a C+. Just mostly some old supplements, one new piece of info on the existing Blu-ray, which will no doubt leave fans wanting more. The 6th and final film in this collection, Punch Drunk Love, is, of the current films by director Paul Thomas Anderson, one of my favorites from his filmography. Something about the quirky anxiety of Adam Sandler's Barry and the curious nature of Emily Watson's Lena just works. The film definitely feels as if Anderson channeled the Coen brothers, and its performances are some of the best. I really do enjoy this film, and I go back to it quite a bit. Punch Drunk Love on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 2:35:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and HDR10 and Dolby Vision. The audio options supported are a new Dolby Atmos mix as well as a previous DTS 5.1. Given the somewhat rarity of a Paul Thomas Anderson film getting a physical 4K release, it truly deserves its place among the latest classics collection. The source is free from imperfections and blemishes, allowing the newfound clarity to really shine. Grain is wonderfully filmic and for the most part exhibits a fine layer, only appearing slightly heavier in certain low-level lighting conditions, such as when Barry is having dinner with Lena in Hawaii. The color palette absolutely bursts forth with a notable reinforcement from Dolby Vision. The various paint-like interludes are the standout here, with the wide variety of colors featured vibrant and lush. Barry's blue suit is much bolder here on the 4K, which often perfectly complements Lena's red dress. When they are together on screen, it's beautifully harmonious. It looks excellent here on the 4K. Black levels show strong stability and are appropriate in any situation that requires them. Textures enjoy a serviceable uptick in the 4K bump, especially in regards to close-ups. The Dolby Atmos takes an already solid 5.1 from their previous Blu-ray and gives it an extra bit of oomph. No, it's not the showstopper audio experience, but when it counts, it's more than impressive. The opening car crash still hits with authority, bringing every speaker on notice for that brief, sensory kickoff to the film. Mid-level, rears, and heights push through with score beats and occasional ambience. Dialogue is clear for the most part. Of course, the party scene with Barry and his 7 sisters, I defy you to understand the chaotic rambling that goes on there. The LFE plays very much like an enforcer, subtly staying back until wham, you're getting punched in the gut. When Barry lashes out at the restaurant bathroom, you can practically feel the impact. It's always there, lingering, ready to pounce. Some of the extras from the Criterion Collection version of the film make their way here, and if you own that disc, nothing will be unfamiliar to you. A bunch of deleted scenes can be found. My personal favorite, the John Bryan featurette going over the film's music and score, makes a return, as well as the Blossoms and Blood short. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Punch Drunk Love on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A+. To my eyes, the film has never looked better. It's a notable improvement over the Criterion Blu-ray with a solid boost to the palette. For the audio mix, I'm going to score this one an A. Sound is an important aspect to this film, and Dolby Atmos certainly delivers. You can practically hear Barry's anxiety bleed through your speakers. For the extras, I'm going to score them a B. For those that have the Criterion Blu-ray, this will seem like old hat and not all of those supplements ported over here. If you're a fan of extras, it's best to hold on or pick up the Criterion disc. So for my final thoughts, ultimately, I think Columbia Classics Collection Volume 4 is absolutely worth the pickup. Arguably, I think this particular collection of films is only matched by Volume 1. I really liked Volume 2 and 3, but ultimately, I love all the films included here. I think they all spoke about relationships, love, and just, I really liked just the overall theme in this one. It's very, very strong. And I will say 5 of the 6 films received outstanding transfers, and the Dolby Atmos upgrade for 5 of the 6 movies featured here were done very well. And I will say, however, that in my opinion, the only weak part of this collection were the supplements. There was a lot of old stuff thrown in, not so much new, but you know, if you're a supplements person, you're probably going to feel a little left out here. But for visual and audio files, you'll definitely enjoy what you get in this collection. So that is my review of the Columbia Classics Collection Volume 4 on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave a direct Amazon link in the comments section below. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. Now it's your turn to let me know if you have the collection. What did you think of the 4K discs included? In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.